On today's Apple Daily, MacBook Hub FIX in Big Sur 11.2.2. Some iMacs unavailable to order. iCave answers. And some of these have got silly. Where do babies come from? Apple 50 years on. LED iPad Pros. How the channel's getting on. And titanium Mac colours.
For the latest Apple news, rumors, and leaks, every weekday at 12 UTC, join us in the iCave.
I'm iCave Dave and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. And if you want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours every weekday at 12 UTC, like this video, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. If you do, you can join the notification squad. All you need to do, comment down below with hashtag notification squad to let me know that you've joined. So first up, the Hub Fix. This is an interesting one because we reviewed a Truce hub a little while ago, and one of the caveats that I kind of had to put into the review was the fact that there have been all of these reports of MacBooks being used with USB power delivery through them, which has been basically frying MacBooks. From the research that I did, because I had no idea about this before I received this. And to be completely clear, there have been no reports of that particular hub causing any problems, but there had been huge numbers of reports of all sorts of hubs. So not just your kind of cheapy $15 one off Amazon or eBay, but also like your brand names. There were some issues going on with these things where basically if you were charging it through the hub, which it is supposed to be able to do, sometimes when the laptop went to sleep and then tried to wake up, or was powered down or not powered down in the right way, or all these sorts of things, it was randomly kind of bricking the laptop completely. And it was something to do with the power delivery probably not communicating properly to the laptop itself and still being trying to charge when it shouldn't have been, something along those lines, I would guess. Apple has brought out another update to Big Sur, which is 11.2.2, and I believe that is just a patch to probably some firmware in order to fix that issue. So that's really reassuring. If you want to have a look at the Truce hub that I've got, I will put the card just up here so you can go and have a look at it. It has a nice little party trick where you can actually wirelessly charge your iPhone or an Apple Watch on top of it using the same rings, and I have no idea how they've done that because I don't think even Apple's managed that yet. And next, some iMac models have become unavailable to order from Apple. Now this is a weird one. It looks a bit strange, and obviously we are expecting new iMacs at some point, but hear me out first. The issues are with the 1TB and 2TB models, I think, for the 21.5 inch. So it could be that there's simply some supply constraints on the storage that they're using for these, but anytime that we're expecting a new iMac or a new MacBook or whatever, and that supply becomes constrained, it feels a lot like they're running down stock ready for the new models. So I know we've been told kind of middle of the year or second half of the year, maybe for the iMacs, but I still think there's a vague chance that we could get them in the first couple of months, or in the next couple of months at least. So it looks like our event that we have planned in for March, assuming there is an event, and it's not just a press release, but what's the difference between an event and a press release with a video, now that we're pre-recording all these videos anyway. But it looks like that event is likely to have the iPads Pro with the updated mini-LED displays, 5G chips, A14X, and it will be very interesting to see if that A14X is in fact an M1 in terms of performance. I think it's going to be very, very close. But then we will also have the AirTags. Fingers crossed. We really, really hope. It can't take that much more time before these AirTags are released. It looks like places are opening up. I think New York has got their movie theatres opening very soon. Here in the UK, we're looking to kind of get back to normal by June, I think, is the plan right now, but we'll see. We'll see. But people in general are getting out and about a little bit more, so it's going to be the kind of product that makes sense all of a sudden when people aren't used to taking keys outdoors with them and potentially losing them. And yesterday I found out how much you guys hate paid subscriptions when we were talking about Final Cut Pro potentially going to a subscription model. But guess what? A subscription to my channel is free, so you might as well subscribe. Come on in, the water's lovely. Next up, let's get into iCave answers. So first of all, Daniel Doran asks, where do babies come from? Why, thank you. And the thing is, we know, we've actually seen it being delivered, and we've got some footage right here.
This is the new MacBook Air, and you can get a feel for how thin it is. Yeah.
So hopefully that helps. You've seen exactly what happens. Special delivery. Then we have Noob Plays with Mac, who asks, what will Apple be like after 50 years? Now, bearing in mind that Apple has only existed for like 50-ish years, what will it be like in another 50 years? I mean, look at the difference that we've got now between the original Macintoshes, the Apple One, which these things go for like $500,000. Come in awful wooden cases, but it's really nice, and they were probably hand built by Woz as well, which is a really nice little bit of history there. The Apple II was a hugely successful system for Apple, certainly more successful than the Apple Macintosh was, which was the team that Steve Jobs was leading at the time. And then obviously the changes that have happened in the whole computer industry, let alone just within Apple, have been incredible. But there is definitely lineage that you can see when you look at an iMac today. It does kind of trace its way back to the original Macintosh. But to look another 50 years into the future, that's very, very crazy. I mean, it could even be that there is no Apple by then. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a company that lives a long time. But even just looking back 13, 14 years, we had no iPhones before then. So to try and predict what Apple will be doing 50 years into the future, I don't know. But I think AR and VR is going to be a part of it. I think we'll probably be getting into having contact lenses instead of Apple glasses that you wear on your face that does basically the same thing. I think the form factor of the phone and the computer as we know it will disappear at that point, and you'll probably just have virtual screens that are projected onto things from your point of view, at least, with the Apple Glass or the contact lenses. So they'll be just kind of placed into the scene using AR. Actual hardware is going to be very minimal. It's going to be a display that you wear, and then you can kind of create virtual displays within that. But this is probably going to be here in 10 years. It's going to be fairly mainstream if it comes when we expect in the next couple of years to begin with. Again, trying to get out 50 years is crazy talk. That's like asking me what today would be like in 1970. I don't think we'd be very accurate. But still a really fun question, thank you. Souvik Mukherjee asks, will you be buying the mini-LED iPad Pro? And I kind of answered this one in the comments but not done it on the show, so I apologise, we're going to do this now. But the new mini-LED iPad Pro, I probably won't, to be completely honest. I will want to get into an Apple store and have a look at it. I would love for Apple to start adding me to their list of people that they want to send stuff to for a bit that I can play with and then send back to them. That would be fabulous. So Tim, if you're watching, stick me on your email list, okay? But I honestly don't think, for what I do with an iPad, which is basically use it as a monitor for this, watch a bit of YouTube on it, play a bit of Call of Duty. This does absolutely everything that I need. I've got basically the fastest iPad you can get right now, which is the iPad Air 4. This is all the iPad that I need. I will be looking at probably getting iPads for my kids for Christmas, because I think we're getting to the point where their older ones are starting to struggle a little bit. But I don't think I'm going to be picking up, certainly not personally, the iPad Pro. I know a lot of reviewers kind of order stuff and then return it within the 14 days and kind of that's how they do their reviews, but that seems a little bit not ideal to me because I want Apple to do well. I don't particularly want them to be having to sell refurbed stuff because I wanted to have a look at it. Next up, another from Souvik Mukherjee. iCave answers, don't get mad. I just want people to know I just want to know why people aren't subscribing to the channel despite the content being so great. They only seem to love Luke and Renee. By the way, I like them, but not David. What wrong do people find with you? You know very well how much I like your channel, but if you were to tell me specific number of subscribers that you want to reach by the end of 2021, what would it be? Love from SM. Souvik, thank you very much. I do appreciate the kind words. The subscriber numbers have started to pick up a little bit. I'm not going to spend too long on this because I want to get back to the Apple stuff and we've got a really good question coming up next. Yeah, our numbers have gone up a bit. I think the dip was mainly because there was very little going on. That's what happens in December and January really with Apple. The big bump that we had in December was because of the AirPods Max, which wasn't kind of expected. But I would, as I say, I would love to make this my full-time gig, doing content creation around Apple stuff. So if you guys want to help me out, sharing a video would always help me out, especially if you know people that are really into Apple stuff. But a subscriber number to hit by the end of the year, I mean, we're on nearly 4,500 right now, which I don't think is too bad. I would love to hit 20,000 by the end of the year. I think that's probably fairly realistic as well. But yeah, that I would be happy if we could hit 20,000. So there's the target. In terms of why people don't sub, as I say, I think it's just been a bit of a lull. And also there's not been a huge amount of news to tell you about. This last week has been much better. Andrew Hornback, with the idea of different colour options for different devices, iMac, etc., does the possibility mean they've figured out how to economically anodize titanium in the same colours as aluminium as well? It wouldn't make sense for Apple to offer colours on a device made of aluminium and then take that choice away when they switch to titanium. Also, I figure this is an option that isn't targeted towards a consumer like me, because I'm perfectly happy with silver white keyboards, white plastic networking goodies, and silver MacBook Pro Mac Pros. But if Apple's going to do something, they've very likely figured out that they have a market for it. Absolutely. So they have found a way of colouring titanium. It's not an anodizing process as far as I'm aware, but it is a micro pore dyeing solution from the sounds of things. So they have a way of adding these very fine pores to the metal itself and then adding dyes to it, and then they've got some finishing stuff that they've been working on as well, which involves either epoxy layers or polycarbonate layers that are bonded to it, which will keep it very, very nice. I would guess they'll be very thin. I would guess it's not going to be like having a slab of perspex across the top of your laptop. I think it's going to be more along the lines of how they laminate the displays. They might start to laminate your bottom case and things like that as well. That's what they're doing. We don't know how economical it is. We don't know how much it will cost, but I would assume that all of the cost increase will be discounted by the fact that we've moved away from Intel and they haven't got to pay that kind of royalty on each chip. So even if the titanium is more expensive to machine, which it would be, the materials cost is not a great deal higher. It's about 50% more, but they only use a couple of dollars worth of aluminium per laptop, so it's going to be maybe $4 or $5 worth of titanium. So shouldn't be any problems with that, and the pricing on the chips should really be coming down as well. So fingers crossed. And tech hyped. So as you know, I got my iPhone 12 almost 2 months ago, and I'm really confused that I should upgrade this year or not. And if I'm going to upgrade, do you recommend getting an Apple upgrade plan or Apple Care Plus? By the way, I'm your huge fan, David. I don't know. I have Apple Care Plus for my current device too. In short, never got Apple Care Plus for any of my devices. So Tech Hyped is asking, is it worth upgrading every year with your iPhones? And we don't know, because we only have an idea of what's going to come out this year. It could be for a lot of people that a colour comes out that they want, and that is enough for them to upgrade. For other people, you might need a big camera bump because the camera is what you use the most. You might want a better display. I'm not sure how much better of a display you would get than the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max that we have right now, but some people might want it better. You know what they could do actually is if they were to make the screen refresh more quickly, maybe up to like 120 Hertz. I'm not sure anyone's bothered about it though. But I personally would say if you've got a 12 series phone, probably you don't need the next generation phone. If you were moving up from an 11 series phone, yes, it's going to be a good upgrade. And that's pretty much the way that I would say it most years, is that if you have the previous year's phone, there's no real need to upgrade. If you've got a phone that's more than a generation behind, probably worth upgrading. And in terms of Apple Care, you definitely should, because I've seen the state of some of your phones. You have a 3GS that you featured on Twitter, along with the caption, "I didn't drop it." Evidence is on the screen, guys. And finally, Notification Squad, we have a new member today, Joe Garcia. If you would like a shout out like Joe, all you need to do, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell and let me know in the comments section that you have done that using the hashtag Notification Squad. I need to be able to make this shorter to say. And if you want to get a question answered too, hashtag iCave answers down in the comments with your question. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one.